that promise was made. Abraham had it in his head, and it was sealed with a covenant. So that was a covenant made or sealed with animal blood. Animals were killed, and it was registered that a seed will be given, the land will be possessed. So that covenant still remains. The seed, we see that the seed has come through the birth of Isaac, Jacob, Israelites. Then that seed came, and that seed is Yeshua himself. That is fulfilled. The land, they were to possess it when they returned Egypt, but they didn't keep the condition. The covenant was not kept. So Yahweh has to drive them away from the land. And it is that when they repent from their sins and begin to serve Yahweh as it were, in righteousness, in holiness, following the covenant commandment, Yahweh will return them to that land. So is Israel gone? No, Israel is not gone, but they are scattered all over the world. So this is the understanding everyone who is into what we are doing, the covenant keeping, the way of Yahweh we are following today. That is the understanding that such a person must have. Otherwise, the person will miss it, because we are not into Judaism, we are not into Christianity, we are not even in Messianic way or Messianic religion. No. So we are covenant keepers, and we are by name Israelites. So we are still following how this Israelites developed. We are still following how the covenant came to be, which covenant was given to them at the end of the day that made them to be covenant keepers, and made them also to put their minds into the covenant and keep them so that they will be people of Yahweh. So how have they been faring, even when they are scattered all over the world today? Right from there, Israel could not conquer the Canaanites. The Canaanites, the Kenizzites, the Kadmonites, the Hittites, the Rephaims, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Gigagashites, the Jebusites. So those people swallowed them, so to speak. Swallowed them in the sense that they made them to receive their culture, their value, their religion. Their religion is idol religion. And at the end of the day, that derailed the relationship they had with Yahweh, the covenant they had with Yahweh. So they are not in the land. So let's quickly look at what is in chapter 16. Chapter 16. Chapter 16, we are going into Abraham's family. Abraham family. Abraham's family. Here we see Ishmael being named, the birth of Ishmael. Birth of Ishmael. So who is Ishmael? Ishmael is son to Abraham through Hagar. Hagar was a slave girl who now become a born woman, slave girl or slave lady become a born woman, having begotten Ishmael. Is Ishmael the choice? Is it son of Abraham? Or is he outcast? Outcast's child? He's a son to Abraham, but not the seed. Not the seed. Outcast child. He is outside promise. That means the son that is outcast child or son, and there is the promised son. They are not the same. Though the two are sons from the promised son is will be the son to Abraham, and the outcast also is the son to Abraham, but one have the promise or the inheritance covenant under which Israel will be a nation. Now let's quickly examine what happened there. Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai had said unto Abraham, Behold, now Yahweh has restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. I may obtain children by her. And Abraham had hearkened unto the voice of Sarai. Now, we are now told that Yahweh restrained Sarai from bearing a son or a child or children. Yahweh restrained her. Why would we think Yahweh did that? Why would we think Yahweh restrained Sarai? Have you thought about that? I will think that one, it was test of faith. Sarai or Sarai's childless was test of faith. And obedience to Yahweh. Do we have another answer to that? That's what I'm thinking. Yahweh intentionally restrained her from getting a child. Then why did Sarah understand what was going on? Did she understand that her faith, even Abraham, his faith, or both of them, their faith were under test or undergoing Yahweh's scrutiny? Did they understand? Because Sarai had to prompt Abraham, take Hagar as your wife now, let she bear a child, since I have been thus number of years, no child, Yahweh has restrained or stopped me from bearing. Possibly through her, you will have issue. You have son that will inherit whatever you have. So how much of trust has Sarai? By doing that, did Sarai submit to faith? Considering if you were in her shoes, for how many years? 70 something years at that stage, would you have continued to wait, or would you have done what she did? Well, as human beings, I believe she tried, and she acted within the realm of human being. So she had to, in order to protect Abraham, because if Abraham will pass on, it will be those people that followed him will inherit all his belongings. He will leave all he has labored for others, for foreigners, or for strangers. So she was just trying to protect the family, or just making sure that the family will not exist without an insider, a bona fide son. But she acted like a human being, but that wasn't the proposition of Yahweh. Now I see a situation where Sarah, in this sense, was trying to help Yahweh. Do you know how? Yahweh promised Abraham, you have a son, not once, not twice, not 3 times. So it's okay, if that is the case, I don't have, but you have. There's a lady here, take her as a wife. I think within the environment they lived, that was the culture. It's allowed. That could be done. It's allowed. So Abraham was looking at it, since he's coming from the wife, and it's part of the culture within the environment, then what stops him? So Sarai was in haste and trying to help Yahweh. Can you, within this Abraham seed going forward, can anybody tell me who else had a helping hand to Yahweh, trying to help Yahweh to fulfill his promise? Which other woman did similar thing? Rebecca. When Isaac was eventually born, at the end of the day, he had to get a wife, Rebecca. They married, birth issue, had 2 children, twins of that matter, Jacob and Esau. So what happened? When the 2 babies were struggling in the womb of Rebecca, she was told that 2 nations were there, fighting for one another, one who will be the head, who will take over the helm of affairs. So, at the end of the day, both were born, Esau and Jacob. Esau was the senior because he came out first. But Jacob held his leg. We are just a bit fast tracking. We will get there anyway. Somehow, when the time came, the promise was continuing anyway. Yahweh was expecting to use Jacob to achieve his objective, which he later did. But when Isaac asked Esau, go into the bush, get animal, you know how to make a good venison, good food, which you know how to prepare, get it for me, let me eat, bless you before, he passed on. Rebecca had it. He quickly told his loved child, son, Jacob, this is what your father has said. He was about to bless your senior brother. You better do quickly and get this blessing before he comes back from the bush. So that was it. So Rebecca whined Jacob. Jacob got everything prepared, dressed like his brother, and took the blessing. So that was fast tracking, trying to help or change or twist the. But Rebecca it was in her head, because it was her Yahweh told that the junior one will be the head of the family and inherit the. Then why didn't she wait? She had to move everything forward before Yahweh would act. And possibly and probably that's why Jacob encountered most of the problem, because his senior brother became his enemy. Seriously. Yahweh would have worked it out his own way. So that is a second aspect of what happened within that lineage or family line. So Yahweh, now that is, a lesson for us to learn. Whoever Yahweh is using, faith tests or test of faith. Faith test is always and often, as we follow Yahweh. Be careful. As you follow Yahweh, it's not by lips. It's not by mouth. You'll be tested in everything. Everything. Your faith must be tested. Your appetite, your stomach must be tested. The love you have for him must be tested. Do you love him more than the world? More than mammon, money? More than human beings? More than father and mother? More than brother and sister? More than... You must be tested. Particularly the possessions of this world, the person must be tested. So we must take that on board, following what we have discovered so far. Verse 3, and Sarah, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. So she became, will I say heady? Will I say she was, she now became stubborn. She now became proud. She was now tempted to tell Sarah, I have arrived. You are a barren woman. I'm now the owner of the house. I mean, that is very common amongst the women. Women can attest that. They will always, even as a slave, in as much as she sees that, there's a baby in the womb and the senior madam hasn't got anyone, she will do everything to ask the man to sack the senior one. Despite the fact that the senior one brought her. She was just a slave lady to Sarah, but now she wants to overturn the house. So the woman was tempted to beat her off and to throw her away. And that was what literally will happen. Let's see verse 5. And Sarai said unto Abraham, my wrong be upon you. I have given my maid into your bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. Yahweh judge between me and thee. Now, did I do you wrong, Abraham? This matter is yours. The woman, why did the woman not confront the lady? She did. And she may have been trying to tame the lady, but the lady was becoming out of hand. Things was getting out of hand. So she was not listening to the woman again. And the woman, okay, the only person that can speak to her and tame her is Abraham. Abraham, what is about this? Did I do you wrong? What is about this? I keep quiet over this. But Abraham said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleased you. And Sarai, when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. So Sarai, disciplined her to the point that she had to run away from the house with the pregnancy. So she met angel of Yahweh. Now, the angel of Yahweh provided her water, fountain of water in the wilderness. And Hagar, Sarah's maid, was asked by the angel, where are you coming from? Where are you going? Why are you running away from your mistress? Angel knew that she was running away from Sarah. Verse 9, and the angel of Yahweh said unto her, Return to thy mistress and submit thyself under her hands. Go back, submit yourself to your mistress. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. Multitude. You will born your child. The child will be angel helped Hagar to return to Sarah or Sarah at this time with promise. So the seed that is coming from with is it promise now? Okay, so angel promising. We promise that baby will be born. To become a nation. All right. Let's see what happens. Multiply the seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. Many nations will come out of this baby. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because Yahweh has heard thy affliction. Yahweh heard thy affliction. It means Yahweh will hear. That is the meaning of that name. Yahweh will hear. 12. And he will be a wild man. Ishmael will be born. Ishmael. Wild man. Now, this tells you here that Ishmael later became the people of Arab. And those people are wild by nature. And at the end of the day, they were the people that absorbed Islam. They are the people that take to Islamic religion. Verse says, going to be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. So Ishmael is going to dwell in the presence of, his brothers. And wherever you see the children of Jacob, the children of Ishmael is there. Wherever you see children of Jacob, Ishmaelites are there. The Arabs, the Muslims, they are there. So it's difficult to separate them. It's difficult to separate them. Remember, they are from the same father. And you can be assured that they speak the same language. They speak the same language. So, by characteristics, it may be difficult to separate them except by what they worship. What they worship. Now, who is this woman and the son? Let us see Galatians chapter 4. How they were reckoned in the New Testament. Galatians chapter 4. Galatians chapter 4, 22 to 23. For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondwoman or bondmaid, the other by a free woman. Two sons. So one is coming. The one that will be born by free woman, which will be Sarah. Sarah is going to born his own son. The bondmaid son, let's hear verse 23. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but of the free woman was by promise. So Ishmael, white man, was born how? Was born a slave. So born was from born a slave from bondwoman. So the original son, there will be a son of promise, promised son. It's a freeborn from how Bible described free, the woman who is who lives with freedom. So this free woman's son also. Okay. All right. Galatians chapter 4. Let's look at 28 and 29 as well. Are you there? If you are still there, read it for me. Verse chapter 4, 28 and 29. Apostle Paul is still describing them. Now, we brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise. So Isaac is defined or called child of promise. So we, from that lineage, that's what the Bible is trying to tell us, that we are also freeborn. We are not born, we are not slaves. How? Why? Why is it that tracing from the seed of Isaac, anybody that is from that Isaac genealogy is a freeborn? It's not slave, it's not a bondman or a bondwoman. Why? How? What makes you a free person? Because by circumcision, which governs the relationship they have with Yahweh, Ishmael was circumcised. Ishmael is from Abraham, the same blood of Abraham. So why is he not a free person? Why is he a bond person, a slave son? How? Can somebody tell us? Verse 29, why do you think about that? 29. But as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit. Even so it is now. Can you see what is going on? Now, this boy, Ishmael, very strong, and ever since he's born till today, through his lineage, has persecuted his brother. Jacob has never had any rest. Even when he was returning from Haran from his brother, or mother's brother, he never let him have rest. Jacob went to Egypt. He suffered so many years, 400 years. He came back. Still, it was children of Edom, children of Moab, children of, all against him. The child or son of promise never had rest. Son of promise. Sorry, son of promise. Under persecution. Under persecution. The one that is supposed to be a bond person or slave is the one that has the freedom everywhere to do whatever he likes. Now, you find out that there is a reason for that. Why is the other one persecuting the other one? And when Isaac was born, Isaac had 2 children, Esau, Jacob. The seed was persecuted. True seed has been at receiving end. Why? Why has it been at the true seed? Because look at it from Abraham, Ishmael, and Isaac. Then Isaac owned 2 children, Esau and Jacob. Esau has been given or persecuting as Jacob. Why has it been? Why is it happening that way? Why is the persecution? Remember that the Bible says that the wicked is after the righteous, to destroy the righteous, to kill the righteous. It has always been like that. But why?
Why were the word of persecution?
You see,
But
look.
I have overcome.
Now, all those that call or name the name of Yahweh is always under attack. The true seed is Yahweh's. True seed, it belongs to Yahweh. Belongs to Yahweh. The bond seed belongs to Satan. And when you look at the development today, all those that have received Yeshua is under attack. All those that call the name of Yahweh is under attack up to today. And this persecution will carry on until it culminates into great tribulation, real trouble. And Bible call it Jacob's time of trouble. Jacob's time of trouble. Why is it Jacob's time of trouble? The time of Israel's trouble. It will be at the peak of all the crises, all the seeds of Yahweh have been receiving. And after that, that will be the end. That will be the final forever. That means the 2 worlds that has been existing, that's why we are talking about seed dressing. the two worlds that have been existing, Yahweh had given the other side of the world or the seeds that emanate from the devil, the seed, the evil seed, the bad seed that has been originating all along, line by line, side by side, with the seed of promise. Yahweh has given the evil seed opportunity to prove themselves and do whatever they want to do. If they want to turn to good, seed, fine, let them turn to good seed. If they want to continue their way, but you see that they have continued in their evil, destructive way. So what will happen? It will get to climax. It will get to the peak. That will be great tribulation. That will be the cutoff. And Yahweh will intervene. And they will never. The mantle of power and rulership and dominion will turn to the rightful owners. The seed, the true seed, will possess the earth forever. Isn't that what Matthew chapter 5 verse 5 says? That the meek will inherit the earth. So the true seeds are the meek. They will inherit the earth. And the earth is created for them to enjoy, to inherit. So that is the position. We are still talking about that verse, chapter 12 there. There's so much to learn there. Romans chapter 9, 7 to 8 offered something. Let's hear what Apostle Paul is saying in Romans chapter 9. Romans chapter 9. If you are there, read it for me. Romans 9, 7 to 8. 9, 7 to 8 says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Elohim, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. So you find out that Yahweh here is telling you that he is tracing his seeds. He's looking after his seed. He's watching his seed. Two women for Abraham had issues, had children, or sons. Both of them had child. At the end of the day, the child of the bondwoman persecuted the seed, the very seed of promise. Now, both of them are sons of Abraham. But are they children of Abraham? The Bible is saying no. That means what happened between Sarai and Abraham, bringing Hagar into the home, wasn't the approval of Yahweh. So that son does not belong to the inheritance. Does not belong to the family that, And this is a very good lesson for us to learn. At least all of us that are, most of our children in particular, should open their ears to be careful, so that, because people at times say, oh, when I marry, if the marriage gets haywire, I will divorce and get another person and marry another person. You can't marry another person. If you do it, not only will you destroy the covenant that Yahweh has made, you will be bringing problem also on earth. You'll be contributing to the problem of the earth. Because when the woman gets out there and marry and get another issue, that child or that person that is coming in that family is going to bring a problem on earth in one way or the other, because it's not a legal child or a legal son, as it were. Now, let's move on, verse 12, 13, And she called the name of Yahweh that spoke unto her, Thou El, seest me, for she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? The angel has become Yahweh. Haggai saw angel, and in verse 13 it's saying that she called the name of Yahweh that spoke unto her, Thou El seeth me. Now, she never thought that she would see an angel. So which angel saw her? This is a typical of what Moses encountered in Exodus. Moses saw a burning bush that revealed to him what he's going to do in Egypt. And that order all along was called an angel. Was it angel Moses saw? Here, the angel that was mentioned the other side, is it angel? And here we are told Yahweh is Yahweh. So there is likelihood that whosoever that was following her was Yeshua. Because only Yeshua can tell how this world is going to be defined, how this world is going to be governed. There are two sets of human beings, according to what the Bible is tracing. Seed. We have the good seed and the evil seed. Going back to Adam and Eve, the product of Adam and Eve. The first product was Cain and Abel. And along the line, it has been like that. Good, evil. And the evil has been overwhelming the good. You can see that in Genesis chapter 6, the activities of the evil began to rage. The earth was corrupted, polluted, and Yahweh had to destroy it. Yahweh destroyed the first earth as activity because of the evil activities of the evil ones. Not because of the good. So it's only Yeshua that can tell us what is going on. Verse 14. Wherefore the well was called Beer-lahai-roi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abraham a son, and Abraham called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael. And this is exactly what the angel stroke Yahweh now that saw her, gave to her. And this name was given to the young chap. And this chap has to live like a wild fellow. And Abraham was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abraham. Abraham was 86 years when Ishmael was born. So chapter 16 is just telling us in Abraham's life, a child has been born outside the wedlock, outside the family, outside the covenant Yahweh made with Abraham. So Abraham had fast-tracked the plan of Yahweh. No matter how we try to fast-track the plan of Yahweh, we can't use it to achieve Yahweh's objective. Yahweh will still act at his own time. And because we are pushing him, no matter how we want to do it, we can't push him to do something that he didn't plan. It must work according to his plan. Everything he does, everything he decrees, everything he proposes must come forth at the right time. And that is why we talk about time. Yahweh's time is the best. So we must always wait for him. As a human being, Abraham tried. Sarah tried. But at the end of the day, Yahweh was patient. Yahweh was whom he is, very faithful. He didn't blame them. He didn't destroy them. He didn't cajole them. He didn't, but because of the failing nature of human being, he excused what happened and continued with them. What they did, was it right? No, it wasn't right. They tried to move the hand of the clock. Is it right for you to move the hand of the clock against the, momentum of the clock? If you do that, you either cause the clock to give you a different timing, which may not be within the natural event, and that would be a problem. So we have seen what happened in that family. Somebody has just come in to start confusion. That child has started confusion. That is number one for Abraham there. Let's see number two. Chapter 17. What is he talking about? What's chapter 17? Promise for seed multiplication. For seed multiplication. Here is Yahweh again making promise to Abraham. Making fantastic promise to Abraham. What is he telling Abraham? Now, here we see that promise was made, promise plus covenant. And somewhere in chapter 15, we saw these two coming in. Promise of land, promise of seed, covenant was made based on the two, on the land and the seed. Here again, Yahweh is like repeating it. So we can say renewal. Renewal of covenant. Or renewal of this. Renewal of promise. Renewal of promise and covenant. So what is covenant? What is covenant? We are called covenant keepers. Somebody tell me, what is covenant? Because that is what we are called. We are not under religion. We must be, careful to understand what we call ourselves or who we are from the scriptures. You can see that Yahweh made covenant with Adam and Eve. Yahweh made covenant. Be careful to understand what is going on. Yahweh made covenant with Noah. Yahweh made covenant with who? Abraham. We have seen 3 covenants on as we move into the... It's like within this particular people, Adam, Noah, Abraham, covenants were made. So what is happening? Right from the beginning of time, right from creation, Yahweh has been going with people with covenants. If you will keep my covenant, you will receive blessing. Obedience begets blessing. Disobedience to covenant. Receive what? Curse. And if you look at virtually all the Bible, Leviticus 26, Deuteronomy 28, it's all about These two, blessing, curse. Keep the covenant, you get the blessing. Disobey the covenant, you get curse. That has been what is following us. So all the children of all the seed that pursue righteousness, blessing follows them. All the seed that pursue evil, what?
Curse.
Who are under disobedience, curse follow them. So you now ask yourself, where do I cue in? Where do I fall in? And we are called covenant people. Let me ask, can somebody be a covenant person yet he runs into the curse?
No.
No.
Yes and no.
Yes.
Yes, in the sense.
No.
Yeah, okay, let me hear you. No, I heard no. What is your opinion? The person that said no.
No, I was just going to say, if you are really a true covenant person, keeping the covenant
Okay.
and doing the will accordingly,
Mm-hmm.
though the curse has been there and you are in, but by the mercy of Yahweh, you will take it off.
Okay. All right. Those who are obedient, keeping the covenant, no cost, blessing will follow them. Now, those who are keeping the covenant wishy-washy, halfway. Oh, let me obey today. Tomorrow I will see if I can obey. If I like, I obey. If I don't like, Yahweh understands. What will happen? Curse will come in. Those are covenant keepers. So one may be keeping the covenant yet is carrying the curse. Now, what is a covenant?
An agreement.
Covenant is an agreement. Agreement. Is it just agreement? How is the agreement coded or written? It's a written or unwritten agreement between two or more persons. In this case, the agreement is between Adam and Yahweh, Noah and Yahweh, and Abraham and Yahweh. Then from Abraham, because chapter 15, Yahweh did tell Abraham that this covenant will be through you down to your seed with me. In the same thing, he told Noah that this covenant will stretch from generation to generation. So you see that Yahweh is widening the covenant as we enter into the scripture. We see the scripture widening. At the end of the day, we see it wider when it got into the children of Abraham, when Moses now got it. So it's an agreement between two or more, must be two or more persons, who have committed themselves to keep the tenet or the principles of the covenant. They must be committed, agreement to keep the principles or tenets of the pact or covenant itself. So what is the principle there? The principle of those things that is written, the content of the covenant, you must keep it. Yahweh keep his own part. The children of Yahweh will keep their own part. What is Yahweh's own part in all the covenant that is kept? Oh, yeah. What is Yahweh's own part of the covenant? We can see that most of the covenant, all of the covenant, Adam's covenant, Noah's covenant, Abraham's covenant, they are all written down. Even in the Bible we read. At times it appears you don't see Yahweh's own covenant. Yahweh's own covenant is there. So what is Yahweh's own side of the covenant? Can you name some of them? I mean the principles or the tenets or those ones that Yahweh says, do all these, then I will take care of your blessing. Can you name the blessings? You can't name them. In as much as you have life, that is the covenant. That is what Yahweh does for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. It's like we are struggling to say yes.
Yes.
Now, the understanding is that Yahweh promised, if you keep this covenant, you prolong your life. Have you read that in the Bible or not?
Yes.
You prolong your life. That means you will have life.
Yeah.
He will protect that life.
Yeah.
He will deal with sicknesses that will come your way, including coronavirus, isn't it?
Yes.
That is somebody who sincerely, because I tell you, a pastor in Nigeria said to his audience that no Christian will have coronavirus. And before long, coronavirus caught the pastor. The pastor who was like telling them, this is what is going to happen. Because he said he believed in his God. Oh, he's worshiping God. Sorry. But you are worshiping Yahweh. It's not God. So, as far as Yahweh is concerned, when he says, do your own part, I will do my own part. I mean, take it to market, take it to the bank. Nothing. You will not have any problem with that. Whatever the name, this disease or pestilence or flood or earthquake or mountain or whatever comes, Yahweh will protect you. If anything happens to you, Yahweh has hand in it. Yahweh is in the know of it. So, you have life, you have food. He said he will give you your food of basket. Have you seen Leviticus chapter 26, 1 to 13?
Yes.
If you keep these promises, I mean the principles of the covenant commandment, if you keep them, if you keep my Sabbath, if you will not do idols, if you will not profane my name, if you will do all those things I've commanded you, then you will flourish. Your land will flourish. Your cattle will flourish. Your children will flourish. You will not be barren. No person in your land will be barren. Have you read that in the Bible?
Yes.
But today, many people that carry this Bible, many of them are barren. They will go to different kind of something to manufacture baby, including baby tubes and all those stuff. At the end of the day, they will go and give thanksgiving that Yahweh has given it to them. I don't believe it. Because when you do your own, Yahweh, who creates life, who makes life, will support that life. So his own part is all about making sure he protects your life and bless your life. So that is why covenant is important. We joke with it. I've just taken time to elaborate or to explain it, to let you know why it is called covenant. It's a part or undertaking, an agreement between two or more persons, so that when you do your own part, which is written, given to us, it says study it, read it, put it, when you are going to bed, carry it, when you are sleeping, carry it, when you are walking on the road, because you can easily forget. Will Yahweh forget? No! In as much as you are breathing, in fact, the breath is inside you. You are breathing in and out. That is Yahweh. So how can he forget? If that Yahweh stops, that means Yahweh has forgotten. Can he forget even when it stops? No, because he is in charge. He will have taken it because it will return to him. That is the breath. So we must be very, very careful, very thorough to be obedient. That's what he's calling us to do. That's what he's calling us to do. If we do that, we'll be blessed.
Amen.
Amen. The seed of Abraham. Okay, so I'm jumping some few things. Covenant made between Yahweh and Abraham is in chapter 15. I said that before. For a seed is here renewed when Abraham was 99 years for the promise of seed to be given Abraham. Now, for Abraham to receive this seed that is promised, because everything is about the seed. So Abraham has to fulfill the condition of the covenant with Yahweh. Abraham had to keep the covenant with Yahweh. By how will he keep the covenant with Yahweh? Abraham, you walk before me. Abraham, you must walk before me. Abraham, you must be perfect. Now, this sounds too huge, too big. Was Abraham to fulfill that? Was he able to fulfill that? Genesis chapter 1 verse 28. Genesis 1:28. Exodus 6 verse 3. Now let's look at what Genesis 1:28 is talking about. That is big promise which Adam supposed to inherit. And all mankind, including Abraham, including Noah, including I and you. Now, Genesis chapter 1:28 says, and Elohim blessed them. See the blessing of Yahweh we are talking about. And Elohim said unto them, be fruitful, you see, and multiply, and replenish the earth. That is what we're supposed to get if we are able to do what? If we are able to walk before Yahweh and remain perfect, holy, righteous, following Him. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. That is what's supposed to be our portion if we keep that. If we keep that. This is the instruction. Yahweh will always go back, and He didn't give Adam a different commandment and Eve a different commandment, ask Abraham to do a different commandment. They have been all the same commandments given to each and every one of them. Rather, in a way, generation that, each generation have their peculiarity. So Yahweh will look at their peculiarity and renew the covenant accordingly. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of El Shaddai. But by my name, Yahweh, was I not known to them. So here, Abraham is mentioned, Isaac is mentioned, Jacob is mentioned. He appeared to them. He said, anyone that Yahweh appeared to, Yahweh must agree with the person in one way or the other. And Yahweh appeared with these people earlier, in the earliest time, during the patriarchal times, by his name El Shaddai. And he said by his name Yahweh, he didn't make himself known. That is not specifically the understanding. Because Yahweh has been there right from the Abraham, Adam, Eve, and all that. And the name Yahweh has been called. But he didn't, meet them and educate them, enlighten them on what Yahweh is or Yahweh meant. They knew him as Yahweh, fine. But they knew him even better on the side of El Shaddai, the Almighty. But in the latter days, when the children were to come out from Egypt, they needed what? Salvation. So he brought that name for Moses. So that name was more suited with that generation because of the peculiarity of their condition. Their condition needed, a savior. They needed salvation to come out. A savior with iron hand to deal with their enemy. So he had to declare that name. And at that stage, he told them that that name is his name for them and for mankind, for the rest of mankind, from generation to generation. So that's why you call him, because El Shaddai is a title, or Elohim is a title, but the name particularly, in fact, even Yeshua said he has a name when he's returning that he will bear by his, it's like a banner, he put it across his chest, and written there is the word of Yahweh. One is at his thigh, and one is within his chest. Two names like that. If you go to Revelation chapter 19, you discover that he has even the very, very name. And what that told me when I spotted particularly the word of Yahweh, is that those who today says that the covenant or the Torah or the commandment or the law is cancelled, they are going to be in serious trouble. Because why did he say his name is the word? And even John declared that in John chapter 1 verse 1, 2, 3. He declared that his name is the word. And the meaning of Torah is the word, instruction. So if you reject the word, you reject even, that is the scripture you are reading in the Bible. And in fact, he made it clear in John chapter 5, 39, 40, 41, 42, up to 43. He made it clear that the word they are searching in the scripture is him, that they should come to him. Because he was physically on earth that time, he was calling them. And he told them that what they were searching is, he is the one representing or bearing what they are looking for. That what they are looking for, speak about him, which is the word. So anybody who is telling you the law is cancelled, the person is rejecting the kingdom. The person will not be found there. So the seed of Abraham is holy, perfect, and righteous. The seed of Abraham, holy, perfect, and right. So, what Yahweh is looking for, as you keep this covenant, Yahweh will make sure that the seed that you have to follow Yeshua as your Savior, your Messiah. Number one, all those who will enter the kingdom must follow or have Abraham seed characteristics. No son or daughter of Abraham should be imperfect or unholy. Number three, all children of Abraham must be covenant keepers, just as Abraham was. Number four, all Abraham's seed are product of blessings, not curse. Number five, all Abraham's seed are productive, not unproductive. Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, which we read a few minutes ago. Through the holy seed of Abraham, the whole earth will be filled or replenished. That's what Yahweh said. The holy seed, number 7 there, the holy seed of Abraham, the holy seed of Abraham shall have dominion over the creation and fulfill the promise. Fulfill the promise. I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Genesis chapter 7 verse, what is that? Let's see verse 6. Genesis 17 verse 6 there. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. Genesis 17 verse 6. Verse 4 there says, Yahweh signed a new contract or covenant with Abraham called covenant. Covenant is a pact or compact, agreement or promise or pledge which the two parties must fulfill. Verse 5 there, we are still on Genesis chapter 17, verse 5 there. Now there is a change of name in that verse 5. Abram has to be, that is exalted father. Abram means exalted father. Change of name. Why the change of name? Change of name. Why is it that Yahweh want to change Abraham? Exalted. Exalted father. Somebody help us. Why is it that and the wife Sarai has to be changed? Exalted father has to be changed to what? Father of multitude. Multitude. Father of multitude. From exalted father, Abraham is exalted father. So now Abraham is, let me get it clearer here. Change of name. This is change of name. Of name. Abraham to, that is father, exalted father, sorry. From exalted father to Abraham. Abraham meaning father of multitude. Father of multitude or nations. Or nations. What of Sarai? Princess, from princess to what? To Sarah. Meaning what? Mother of multitude or mother of nations. So they are now promoted. Isn't that how Yahweh promotes somebody? The way Yahweh promotes is not the way we promote. All of a sudden, this is something that has to do with even to the end of the time. Both of them, they are going to be the mother of the family of the earth. All right. Noah's son, here we now see what is going on. We now see what is going on. We have Noah here. Noah's son. We are now decoding the seed proper. Seed. We are still tracing the seed. Noah's son. From the seed Yahweh is looking for is who? Somebody is not telling me. From Noah, the seed Yahweh is looking for is who? All right. Let's keep Abraham for there, and bring Heber. Heber, which is Hebrew. Hebrew language which they speak. Then Abraham. We had when we talk about Abraham. So from Noah's son, we see son there is the son of Abraham, Noah, which is the seed selected, is Shem. You forget. Then from there, going forward, Yahweh touched Heber. And Heber was from where we get the name Hebrew. And Hebrew is important because of the language. Because that man was, from him, the language was developed, which the children of Jacob began to speak as well. So here we have Abraham providing faith moving forward. Faith. So he's the father of the faithful. So what happened, because he was a goodly man, if you walk with Yahweh, keep the covenant, Yahweh will do what? Will bless you. Will bless you with what? Bible said Abraham was wealthy and prosperity here. So Yahweh blessed him with wealth and prosperity. Abraham was wealthy, was prosperous. Isaac was doubled what Abraham had. And Jacob tripled what they had. How did he say it? The Bible said it. Yahweh increased, as these children were, Yahweh was like increasing this unto the blessings. Okay. Now, you see that the change of name here began here to affect Abraham's destiny. As soon as Yahweh changed his name, his destiny got transformed seriously. Most people are held back by their names. And that's why we must prayerfully ask Yahweh to help us discover whether the name we are bearing, whether it is fruitful, whether it meets the purpose, whether it serves the mind of Yahweh. Verse 7 here, we look at verse 7, says, "And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant to be an Elohim unto thee and to thy seed after thee." So the covenant that Yahweh made with Abraham is not only for him, but for his seed. He didn't say seeds. According to the book of Galatians chapter 3 verse 16, he said seed. That means it's not even a son from Abraham he's looking at. Yes, he was looking at what he's going to, because he promised Abraham a son. He's going to give him a son, he called seed. So he's going to give the seed that will come from Abraham seed, and the seed that will come from Abraham to the grandson of Abraham, Jacob. Seed. You're going to give him seed. So you carry on with this seed, until the very seed will come. The singular seed, which is Yeshua. So we have seen the promise that the covenant is forever. Covenant forever. Generation to generation. To all generations. That is that covenant. So anybody that tell you that the commandment or the covenant or the law is cancelled, tell them, ask the person, what is covenant? Just ask that person that simple question. Because whatever they call law, whatever they call anything that is written, coded, agreement, signed, given, made with the blood, sealed with the blood, the content of it is obey the law of Yahweh, obey the commandments. If you obey, blessings will follow. If you don't obey. So all the human beings who do not obey what is written in the covenant are under a curse. And that is what we've been talking about. This morning I posted into the Facebook something I wrote about covenant. And it talked about this issue whereby the people abhor the covenant law. In fact, the title of it is Consequences for Rejecting Yahweh's Covenant. So anybody that tells you otherwise, walk away from that person. The person is not the seed. This person is an evil seed. Simple as that. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land. Yahweh is renewing. Remember, we are talking. This chapter 17 is talking about renewing the covenant he made in chapter 15. Renewing it, the land and the seed. So here Yahweh has promised him the seed again, and the land wherein thou art a stranger. Because while Abraham was still putting his leg in that land, Abraham was still a stranger. And you can see that this promise was not immediately to be reaped by Abraham or the children that will be born at that particular period. Yahweh was looking at the future. And that's why I talk about his seed. All the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their Elohim. And Elohim said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. So Abraham, all your product, all your children must keep this covenant. And it will be forever, from generation to generation. He's still going on about the covenant. Verse 10. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Every man. Circumcision comes in here. Circumcision by flesh, physical. Physical circumcision. Physical circumcision comes in here. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your first skin, that is physical, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. Shall be a token. What is token there? It shall be a sign. The covenant I have made between you, the sign of this covenant is circumcision. Circumcision. And what is the covenant? The covenant equal to what? Seed. I will give you a seed. And what? Land. So Yahweh is saying, for me to seal this covenant with you, which is the promise I made to you to give you seed and the land, you must carry a symbol in your body. Are you getting it? You must have something that is following you all your life, all your children that are born with you. Anybody that sees you, they will know that you are mine. It's like saying, keep Sabbath, you are mine. Keep Sabbath, you are saying when you keep it that Yahweh is the creator of heaven and earth. So here he's telling Abraham, do it in your skin, your foreskin. When they see you, they will know you are a promised servant of mine, son of mine, child of mine. All your children, all of you have a seed and a land. Though now you are a stranger here, time will come when that will come to take place. So it's something that is future. And don't let anybody deceive you that this promise is taken away. Land of Canaan to be inherited by Abraham and seed. Abraham's seed, which is Yeshua, forever and forever, for everlasting possession. Genesis chapter. So the land here with this thing continue to come into play. Genesis chapter 6. Is it Genesis chapter 6? Genesis chapter 6, 18. Let me open that for me and read it for me. Genesis chapter 6, 18. Luke. Can somebody open Luke there for us and read quickly, please? We don't have time. We want to finish 10 o'clock. Luke chapter 1, verse 55. Can somebody quickly. Can another person at the end there open Galatians chapter 3, 16 to 25? We may not read the whole of it. It's a bit lengthy. 16 to 25. Somebody read Genesis 6, 18 for us. Let me read it for us. Genesis 6, 18. Somebody at that end, read Luke chapter 1, verse 55. Another person, Galatians.
But with thee I will establish my covenant, And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee.
Okay, that seed of generation of Noah was promised to enter to be saved, so that they will possess the because the earth, Yahweh didn't want to destroy the earth, so they will be the possessor of the earth when eventually, and that fell into the hand of Shem to Habar to Abraham to what we are still talking about. Luke chapter 1:55. Somebody quickly. Is anybody there? Goodness me, nobody's hearing me.
I'm not at home, so I'm not having the Bible.
Luke chapter 1:55. Luke chapter 1:55. As he spoke to our fathers, to Abraham and to his seed, for what? Forever. Forever. It must be. Luke was telling us here about inheritance of the land, reminding us what Yahweh. So what Yahweh says, even in the New Testament, is collaborated. It is on board that we must follow suit, because that is what it was given to Abraham. In this land of promise, Yahweh is their Elohim. So at the end of the day, within this promise, Yahweh is, their Elohim. Elohim standing to uphold this covenant to the end. This covenant to the end. Yahweh says, do this, do this, do this. I will do this. I will be your Elohim. No two ways about it. Verse 9 there says, covenant must be strictly kept by Abraham and his seed in their generations forever. So Yahweh continued to hammer about this. So we now look at the covenant circumcision again, which is the hallmark of this covenant. The hallmark of this covenant is seed with circumcision, and is bloodletting. Blood has to come out. Blood has to drop on the ground. Which is, look, if you break this covenant, you're in trouble. Anything that has to do with bloodshed or blood coming out is very, very crucial. So Abraham, it must be a physical something. At the end of the day, in Yeshua, there will be again a spiritual what? Circumcision. Now, this circumcision is both physical and spiritual. In Abraham, it was physical. In Yeshua, it is spiritual. How is it? In Abraham, it is foreskin. Foreskin. In Yeshua, is baptism by immersion. Baptism. Put yourself. So here he's talking about baptizing them, their hearts. Here, heart circumcision is required. Here, foreskin is required. So with foreskin, so you have to take care of your flesh, your body, and your spiritual side, your heart. That is what works for us. And that goes with the Bible we hold. We look at the letter and we look at the spirit of the letter. So put them together and place it under the physical and spiritual circumcision. Both of them. So you must, be complete. Must be complete. This is my covenant which ye. Now you can collaborate that in Colossians. Let me give you Bible reference. Colossians, what is that? Colossians chapter 2, 11 to 13. You have Acts of Apostles 15:24. Where is it again? Romans 6:4. Romans 6:4. Romans 6:4. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. Every man child amongst you, which is Genesis 17. Genesis 17 verse 10 we read. Also, you can make reference to Deuteronomy 36 to 8. 36 to 8. John chapter 7. John 7:22 also suffice. So in that 10 to 13, we see there you must keep this circumcision or commandment of circumcision. You must keep it. People that say it is cancelled, Apostle Paul said, Apostle Paul didn't say. They should hear what the Bible said, not what Apostle Paul said. Because Apostle Paul cannot underwrite or cancel the commandments of Yahweh or the instruction that Yeshua gave. No human being can do that. So Apostle Paul didn't. Remember that most of the things Apostle Paul wrote, they destroyed it. And they presented their own version of, or their own idea about what should obtain. So we must be very careful. Follow what the scripture said. At least look at all the biblical something, Old Testament, New Testament, put them together. You have understanding of what the Bible is saying. Now, number 2, you must, your male seed must keep it. Abraham, you must keep it. Your male seed must keep it. Number 3, circumcision is compulsory. Number 4, foreigner in your home or your house must keep it. Now, when you come to Yeshua, you must keep the circumcision as well. You must keep it as well as baptized in his name. So anybody who is coming into the forum or the congregation must be circumcised before he take the Passover, because that is the body of Yeshua. You must be circumcised. Go into the water and have yourself, circumcised spiritually. Drop every sin inside, because everything is all about sin. Put them inside the water, come out clean, and be perfect and holy person. Follow Yeshua all the days of your life. They will say, oh, can you be holy while you are on earth? A fish in the water does not deny water. If you are part of them saying that kind of, making that type of statement, well, you better cry for Holy Spirit to deliver you. Foreigner in your house must keep it. Verse 12, that is what it says. Foreigner in your house must keep it. Circumcise for skin and plus your heart. Heart circumcision removes stiff-neckedness. Colossians chapter 2 verse 11. It removes stiff-neckedness. Genesis 17, 11 to 13. Romans 2, 29 and Leviticus 12, 2 to 3. Very important. Deuteronomy 10, 16 and Luke 2, 21. Covenant established in flesh for an everlasting covenant. So the covenant that Yeshua made with these people, or the fathers of old, is established in their flesh. While cutting that skin is establishment, is a permanent mark, it's a token, a sign. It's permanent. So it's like writing the law on the tablets of stone. It's permanent. Duration. It has to be there forever. So that's why he did it. So put it in your first skin. You are carrying it all your life. So that when you look at yourself, I'm a covenant. Why this covenant? A seed and land is promised. I must keep myself holy. For looking at Yahweh all the days of my life. When Yeshua comes, he says, okay, your heart needs also to be masked by his spirit. Go into the water and shed all the fleshy, sinful thing and come out holy. Circumcision covenant is mark or sign or seal of Yahweh. That is Genesis 17, verse 13. Now, verse 14. Uncircumcision is unlawful. Uncircumcision. Oh, let me live without. Remember that the Gentiles who were not circumcised, they were called sinners. It is written in the Bible, we hold. The Jews called them sinners. Somebody said, oh, it's segregation, separate. But why did Yahweh say, my people, you must have it? But there are some people who doesn't have it. And Yahweh said, you must have it forever. It's a mark in you. Carry it. So if you don't have it, you don't belong to him. In a way, that's what he's just saying. Uncircumcised man-child shall be cut off from his people. Can you hear that? Failure to circumcise break Yahweh's covenant. Genesis chapter 17, verse 14. That's exactly what that verse is saying. Genesis 17, 14. So anybody who is not a man-child that is not circumcised will be cut off, will be removed from his, he said, circumcision or no circumcision, Apostle Paul said, but what is important is keep the law. Keep the law. So, open that statement. Circumcision or no circumcision, keep the law. So, which law are you keeping? Circumcision is a law. So, Yeshua, Apostle Paul said, keep it. That's literally what he meant. Because when they were struggling, oh, circumcision, oh, this people say, let us keep circumcision. The other side say, oh, don't keep circumcision because grace has come. At the end of it says, oh, don't worry. Circumcision or no circumcision, what did the law say? Aha, if you understand what the law says. What is the law? Genesis is law. It's Torah. Torah is law. Exodus is law. And all these things are written in Genesis, which we are reading now. So if it is law, keep it. That's what Pastor Paul is saying. Pastor Paul is telling you, keep it. Sarah called, as the name here, verse 15, Yahweh is here now, telling us that Sarah's name has changed. Though we saw it somewhere there. Here, Yahweh is making another frantic effort to let Abraham that. And maybe why Abraham has not born a baby or a child, which is part of these changes. Abraham cannot bear a child when he's still having the Gentile name. The seed of the others as well as spiritual. So Yahweh is cleaning Abraham as well as cleaning the wife. So Sarah's name has to be changed. And Elohim said unto Abraham, as for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be, and I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Ye will bless her, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. So that's what the meaning of Sarah means, mother of nations or multitudes, as we saw there. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old, and shall Sarai that is 90 years old bear a son? Abraham was raising a question in his heart. Yahweh picked it up. Was Abraham doubting Yahweh? But he's father of the faithful. He's a faith man. He believed Yahweh everywhere, all around. Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. Whether this is reaction, the reaction was from a lack of faith or joyous, I'm reading the note below here, or joyous surprise, well, that is unknown. Based on Abraham's previous illustrations of faith, the letter is favored. That means Abraham may have been caught up by joy, and he laughed, and he was pondering in his heart, hey, he has spoken. Well, let me see how it is going to happen. But was he doubting Yahweh? At the end of the day, it looks like, but nobody at that age who knows about life, human being, physically, will accept that. But we have to accept it because we are serving unfailing Elohim. when he says, keep the side of this covenant, and I will keep the side of my own, he can never fail you. He can never. We have just had our fast, concluded our fast, and we believe what we are asking Yahweh, and we say, if we are right and our heart is right, and we say, Father, help us do this, help us, deliver us, do this, help us. It's like in each time you are praying, you are under agreement, you are entering agreement. In any moment you are before him, maybe stating your case of issues or certain things that is underlining in your life, Yahweh takes them on board. Provided you ask rightly, he will surely help you. He will surely do it. Amen. So that is the kind of agreement we enter with him. That is the kind of relationship we have. So we don't have to argue or doubt. Abraham never doubted. Abraham, in his heart, at times we wonder with our heart, we reflect. I think it was just some kind of reflection. Verse 18. And Abraham said unto Elohim, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. So, okay, I accept what you have said. Father of faith, he said he has accepted it. Reading in between lines, you can hear Abraham saying, Yahweh, I've accepted what you said. You give me a son. I've heard it. I've taken it. But what of Ishmael? Ishmael is born in my house. What will be his position? Will he be killed? Would you want me to kill him? Would you want me to chase him away? Would you want me to... What is his position? So look at what Yahweh says the position of Ishmael is. Verse 18. And Abraham said unto Elohim, what about Ishmael? Would he live before thee, or will you kill him? Since he's you see how he came into the family. It was our mistake. It was our, human failure. Verse 19. And Elohim said, Sarah, thy wife, shall bear thee. First of all, the faith Abraham had in Yahweh, which by understanding of this text, verse 17 is not that Abraham was doubting Yahweh. He was joyous in his heart. And that's why Yahweh now looked at that joy in his heart. And first, before Yahweh would answer him about Ishmael, Yahweh addressed the issue of Isaac first. But he will answer him on Ishmael after responding to Isaac, which he was rejoicing in his heart. So he said to him, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. So Yahweh has now given the name of Isaac. This is the first time this name is coming to the ears of Abraham. What will be the son be? Not tomorrow, we start changing. Abraham can call him anything. Tomorrow now, Yahweh will start changing, like in this case of Jacob. Say, his name is going to be Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant. That means this covenant I'm making with you is going to be transferred to your son. So you see how this seed is moving. From Abraham, is going to get into his son. When he gets to this, the turn of Jacob, he's going to move it, from Isaac to Jacob. And with his seed after him. Can you hear? So from Abraham, it will move into Isaac, and from Isaac to his son, which is Jacob. And Jacob will move it to others, his seeds. Now, he wants to answer about Ishmael now. Verse 20. And as for Ishmael, can hear the question Abraham specifically asked, he's answering it. I have heard thee concerning Ishmael. Behold, I have blessed him, that boy, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful. So even a child that is born within the family that is out of wedlock, or born that is not within the approval of Yahweh, but by circumstance surrounding the situation, like Abraham found himself and Sarah found himself, Yahweh said, that boy, I will protect him. He is your son. So Yahweh here is agreeing and accepting and telling Abraham that that son, though is a slave boy, is not a son of promise. It's not part of the promise that he is making with him. He's going to live. He's going to protect him. He's going to bless him. He's going to multiply him. He's going to be a nation. Even 12 nations. As Abraham, through his seed, we have 12 nations. In the same way, Ishmael is going to have 12 nations. I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. That tells us, when you read Psalm 83, verse 4, unfortunately those nations, you can see that when somebody is wide, it's wide. When you read Psalm 83, you find out that those 12 nations, let's quickly look at them. Quickly, no time we don't have, but let's quickly. At the end of the day, they were the people that were fighting Israel still. That's up to today, they're fighting Israel. Wild children, as their father is a wild man. The Edom, Ishmaelites, Hegerites, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, Tyre, Asshur, children of Lot. You can see them there. He promised and they came, 12. But at the end of the day, because they are not of the promise, they are from different seed, wild seed. Mahala, pray. If you are in a wild seed, pray. But go into the water, accept Yeshua and enter into the water. Because anybody that is from Ishmael, when he enters into the water, that will address his issue. Yeshua will bring him out clean. Verse 21, but my covenant will I establish with Isaac. So Isaac is the one that has the covenant, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. So at the time of life, Exodus chapter 9 verse 5, at the very appointed time, that's what he's saying. From that moment Yahweh was talking to him, 1, 2, 3, 9 months, Sarah will bring a baby boy called Isaac. Verse 22, and he left off, Yahweh left off talking with Abraham, talking with him, and Elohim went up from Abraham, and Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and that were bought, that is, both strangers, with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self-same day, as Elohim had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9, that is 99 years, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. So Ishmael now is a child in the house, son in the house, but he's not the son of the promise. So he belongs until he grows, he finds his own way. Then the son of the soil, the son of the father, from the womb of the father, will live in the house and will occupy the land. Eventually, this is coming forth because it hasn't been fulfilled, the land matter. In the self-same day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house, born in the house, and bought with his money, that is the strangers, were circumcised with him. So Abraham and all male folk in the house were all circumcised, and Abraham fulfilled the foreskin circumcision commandment that Yahweh gave to him. So that commandment was fulfilled by Abraham, and Abraham lived looking unto Yahweh. When in covenant, you are giving covenant, continue to uphold it, continue to keep it, and continue to look unto Yahweh. And that is what the scriptures tells us in these last days. Inasmuch as we have accepted Yeshua, we continue to, having been baptized in Yeshua, we have been circumcised, quite all right, in our foreskin, the male, and also we are circumcised into Yeshua, so that our heart, the stiff nakedness of our heart, will be dealt with. So we continue. And in this latter-day circumcision, this is one thing. Take this. Latter-day circumcision. Latter-day circumcision is for both male plus female in Yeshua. Circumcision in Yeshua, which has to do with baptism by immersion, has to be with male and female. Male and female. In the where we are, Genesis 15 and 17 is only male. In these latter days, Yeshua brought in the female, so you have to go into the water after you have made yourself right by acknowledging and accepting you have sinned, confess your sin, then you submit to Yeshua, you go into the water. By the time you would have come out, Yeshua will be, he will give you the spirit, his own spirit, to walk into you, to give you the fruits of the spirit, for you to begin to live a holy life, a perfect life, a life that is required for somebody to live in that land. So, I've finished whatever we are doing. What is the, I have a question here. What type of life? What type of life is required from an Israelite to live in the, remember the land is promised land. Not everybody will get there. See how Yahweh is selecting those who will go there. So what type of life is required? Can somebody give us?
Obedience.
I mentioned those three. Give me those three. Go on. Okay, accept obedience. Righteousness. Thank you. Okay, mention obedience. Yeah. Faith. Covenant. That covenant is the key. You are now playing out what the covenant says. What your qualification within the covenant. What of holiness? Holy.
It's righteousness.
Perfect. Remember perfect. Remember the man that came to Yeshua, how can I enter the kingdom? Yeshua told him, have you kept the law? Must be a law keeper. That is obedient. That's really obedient, yeah? Must be obedient. Good.
Blameless.
Righteous. Righteousness. Must be righteous. A righteous person. That's what you have to possess. Faith. Great. Holy. Yes. Perfect. Good. Blameless. Well, blameless. Blameless is equivalent to which one there?
Righteousness.
Righteousness can fit in righteousness, can fit in imperfection or perfect.
Somebody is saying something.
Yes, sir. Hello?
Oh, he was saying loyalty, but
Yeah.
Loyalty. Okay. I think it will have been captured somewhere there.
That's meekness. He's under meekness.
All right. So far, so good. We leave it. Next week, we continue with chapter 18.
I will love you, Yahweh.